Two truths and a lie. Let's play. Gender pay gap is real, feminism is a lie, and motherhood isn't a successful career. My name's Peyton, and most of you all know that I was a liberal in college. I loved exploiting the patriarchy in my pastimes. I was a writer in college, and I wrote about all things from feminism to sexual liberation to just supporting these crazy, woke, toxic ideologies. And you know what? They got me. I believed the lies. And here's the thing, guys. The left articulates and frames these toxic ideologies, and they put them in a beautiful, deceitful package. And they're being fed to all these students across America through teachers, through very smart, manipulative tactics. They are salespeople, guys. They are marketing, they are packaging, they know how to sell, and they do it very, very well. And they got me. And I thought, you know what? I thought coming into college that I was pretty rooted in my morals and values at my age, and that was not the case. I went to church. I went on a missions trip before I went to college. I knew God, not as much as I know him now, but I knew God. I attended church semi-frequently in college, and they still got me. I still lost my Christian values somehow. I couldn't fight the war myself. I felt like there was no one supporting the other side on campus. I feel like it was an echo chamber of one side and one side only, the side that is indoctrinating the college students and high school students and all of the other students out there and all of these young minds. One of my favorite lies that was sold was the feminist lie. It started with a simple question. Do you believe that men and women should be equal?
No more writing our representatives, no more marching in the streets. We stop them where it counts in their fucking bank accounts. Come on.
We need more women's rights built into our America!
That so-called fetus is not a
Which is a stage in human development.
It is not alive.
They're not able to have sex.
They are unable to not have sex.
That was the best part of this whole interview. That's so funny. How'd you navigate that?
I don't know. I'm answering these questions. I'm coming with my opinions as you ask them. I don't know. Jesus loved abortions. Jesus loved porn. Jesus loved virgins. Jesus loved everybody.
This question implies that men and women aren't already equal, and then you get angered to find out that you get less because you are a woman. It's very frustrating, and they say that you need to work twice as hard to be as successful as a man in the workplace. But if you want to fix this, all you have to do is join the feminist movement. When you inquire about these unjust ideas, they just explain to you the gender pay gap. And this word is a very hot word. It's a very triggering word for a lot of women out there, because this is just immediately when you say that and you explain that women get paid 87%, I think is what it currently is. You get paid 87% of what a man gets paid for doing the same job, and you're going to have to work twice as hard to gain respect in the workplace. You're going to have to work twice as hard to get a promotion in the workplace. It's extremely frustrating. They're throwing in emotion. They're putting you in a space of fear. You fear going to college, working really hard, getting good grades, wanting a career, desiring something successful, and then it's going to be taken away from you because you're not a man. And so this instills anger in you. So this feminist movement is fueled by hateful women. You're already pissed off because you think that you get less than a man. Why? Because they told you that. So you already have all of these inequalities because you are a woman that wants to enter a workplace with a man in it. So you already have competition. And then we factor in having children, what that looks like when you have children. If you have children, you can't have a successful career, they tell you. If you have children, it will ruin your career and you won't get promotions because you are then unreliable. You have to take maternity leave. You aren't going to be as persevered in the workplace once you have children. You're not willing to work as much overtime. You take maternity leave because your family is your priority. And you know what? That last part is true. Your family is your priority and it should be your priority. But the way they frame it, it makes you feel like you're having something taken away. And because a man can have that, it doesn't make any sense, so now you're upset, and that just flows right into the feminist movement. The gender pay gap is still an average. There are a lot of factors that actually go into this statistic, and this statistic doesn't tell a story. It just tells and shares numbers. Women tend to take a career gap from the ages of 25 to 44. Why? To stay at home and raise their children. You know, a man has 10 years of experience. He's probably able to qualify for a VP manager position because he has that experience. Well, since women are in the home being a mother, taking care of children, they tend to have that gap in their career. So they're not able to fulfill these years of experience on their resume. Even when a woman wants to return to their career and their field of work, they still are lacking those years of experience. So it's still hard to get to where what a man makes because he's been working this whole time, and that's okay because you've been at home taking care of children. And not to say that that's not a job, but that's just where our gender roles lie. Even if women are working while they have children, statistics show that they are less engaged and they are less likely to work overtime because they have to go home and tend to children and take care of the household. Men that are fathers actually tend to work more overtime than men who are not fathers, probably because they are trying to provide and protect for their family. You also need to factor in the types of jobs being pursued by each gender. So finance is heavily ruled by men at a whopping 75%, and hairstylists are a whopping 90% female. Those two career paths and fields tend to normally rank in very different pay ranges. Equality means that everyone is being treated the same regardless of their differences, and this just isn't true. Ask car insurance. Men typically get charged more because they are more prone to accidents. Even Geico understands the difference between men and women. So when I was in college and when I was in a classroom and being explained this far left toxic ideology of feminism, I was angered. And I don't really know why I was angered, but it just felt like something was being taken away from me, that my idea of success. And granted, I didn't know what my idea of success was going to look like later in life. I knew that my idea of success in that classroom was doing well, having good academic grades, working hard, and just building for my future life. But I didn't really know, I didn't really understand what success would look like later in life and what that would mean to me. And I didn't fully grasp the idea of having this legacy and this purpose of motherhood until a little later in life. So when they told me that I wasn't going to be as successful as a man because I'm a woman, and that if I wanted to have children, that was all going to be taken away from me because it was just impossible to have children and work full time and balance all of these things and be a good wife. They just made it seem so impossible, and then it just felt like something was being taken away from me, and that this was being forced on me by society. Like, oh, well, you know what? You can work hard in school, you can get really good grades, you can aspire to have an amazing career, and work really hard now, and then guess what? It's all going to be irrelevant later in life because you can't have it all. And the you can't have it all catchphrase really just bothered me because I wanted it all at the time because I was in a classroom working so hard. I was working full-time in college to pay for school. I was taking a full course load and working my butt off to try to get good grades and try to start success early in life, or, you know, what I thought that was going to look like, set my life up for success. So this really irked me. I lost something that I never even had, nor maybe that I never even wanted. So this upset me so much that I wrote articles in college. I wrote an article stating that I never wanted to have children because I wanted to have a career. And I would rather have a career over children because I thought that children were going to take away this thing from me, this thing that they created in my head in college, this thing that I didn't really know the value of having a successful career that I thought that I was working so hard for in college. So this was instilled by fear and my lack of morals, faith, and values. This was a real thing that I faced, and I don't think that I'm the only one that felt brainwashed by this propaganda. So here's the sales tactic called the takeaway. You actually take away what you were trying to sell to either motivate the prospect to move forward or fully disqualify the prospect and move on. I didn't even have a career at the time. I didn't even know what success was going to look like for me later in life. But when they told me what success wouldn't look like because my gender role excluded me from having it, it really angered me. I think that the reason behind the gender pay gap is absolutely supporting the patriarchy, and it's justified. It shows how complementary men and women are together, that we can work together in harmony. Children get their mother to raise them at home, and men get to go to work and protect and provide. That's literally our gender roles. Motherhood is the most rewarding job that you can have, that a man can never do, just as fatherhood is. It's okay that we're not identical, But we do work in harmony together, and that is the most beautiful thing. That is love. That's sacrifice. Love is literally sacrifice and consideration. And being able to work in a household where a mother is going to sacrifice her career and other things to stay at home and raise the children, and the father is going to sacrifice being at home more so he can provide and protect for his family and allow for that to happen, that is the most beautiful thing. And the gender pay gap just alludes to this. So maybe the gender pay gap is real, but they forget to add the stories and where they're pulling their stats from. They don't want to talk about the mental illnesses, divorce, and the stressful households that can come from working in a two-parent working full-time household. They don't glorify the season of motherhood where you get to stay home and raise your children and actually feel a sense of purpose. The sense of purpose that you're not going to get from working in an office and fulfilling someone else's legacy. Because when you are working full-time and you're a manager at some Fortune 500 company, you're not going to feel that same sense of purpose because that is not within your gender role, and you're always going to feel like you're lacking something. And hence, this is like a cycle of mental illness, mental strain, separating and breaking away the nuclear family. This is all an attack. And the thing is, they package it so freaking well. If you know someone that has experienced this, or you have experienced something like this, let me know in the comments and share this with someone that is maybe going through the same thing. If you have someone that you know that is going to college or is just going through something like this where they are in a spiritual battle, where their morals and values are being put to the test, share this video with them. Make sure that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you get notified for any new videos.